I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which this meeting is taking place, the Noongar people, and pay my respects to their elders past and present. I'd also like to acknowledge any other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in attendance and recognise their continuing connection to land and to sea and to community. Good evening everyone, I'm Dr Sally Box, the Australian Government's Threatened Species Commissioner. I'm here on Ngunnawal country in Canberra. I'm really sorry that I'm not able to join you in Dryandra in person for this really important event on numbat recovery. The numbat is an iconic Australian species that is nationally endangered, and the work being done here by the community and landholders in Dryandra is really critical in its recovery. Hill Harvey Catchment Council have organised tonight's event, and with presentations from the numbat recovery team, from the Western Australian Government and from Perth Zoo, it sounds like it's going to be a really fantastic and informative evening. I don't need to stress to this audience the importance of protecting the numbat. This iconic Australian marsupial was once widespread across mainland Australia, but due to introduced predators like foxes and feral cats, as well as land clearing, there are now around 1,000 remaining in the wild. In fact, at one point in the mid-70s, the population dropped to about 300 individuals, but long-term fox control undertaken at Dryandra, along with a broad-scale Western Shield program for fox and feral cat baiting, this has helped increase numbat populations in WA. Numbats are now restricted to isolated pockets in southwestern Western Australia, including of course here at Dryandra. They're notoriously elusive and difficult to spot in the wild, and on the photos we do have, many of them were taken by farmers and landholders right here in this region. With around 1,000 left, it's not only one of Australia's rarest mammals, but it's one of the world's rarest mammals. When I was first appointed as the Australian Government's Threatened Species Commissioner, I had the privilege of releasing a numbat back into the wild. I remember being amazed at how small it was, given how enormous it is on the poster that sits in my office, and it escaped from my hand so quickly. I think the photo of me is just going, there's it gone, with no numbat in frame. So while there's hope and there's been improvement in its population number since the 1970s, the numbat really still is at risk of extinction. The numbat's included as a priority species under the Australian Government's Threatened Species Strategy. It's one of the 20 mammals we're trying to recover by 2020. And in fact, if you pick up this strategy, you'll see that the numbat is on the front cover. Here in Dryandra, the Numbat Neighbourhood project is critical in protecting and recovering the numbat. It's a 5-year project being funded by the Australian Government under the National Land Care Program's Regional Land Partnerships. Being a fragmented landscape and one of the last remaining places in the world where numbats are found in the wild, I can't stress enough the importance of having farmers and landholders neighbouring Dryandra and Chitanning on board to protect these native animals for future generations. I recognise that many in this room tonight have done so much to help avert the extinction of this species, be it through fencing to protect bushland or feral animal control or weed control. I have been inspired by the collective dedication and remarkable efforts to protect the numbat. By June 2023, the project aims for farmers and landholders to maintain or improve 650 hectares of habitat for the numbat, for the woylie and for the chuditch, which will be an absolutely grand achievement. As many of you would already know, feral cats and foxes pose one of the biggest threats to our threatened fauna. According to some of Australia's leading scientists, more than 3.1 million mammals like the numbat are killed by cats each day, as well as 1 million birds and around 1.7 million reptiles. Under the Threatened Species Strategy of the Australian Government, we've got really ambitious targets to tackle the impacts of feral cats, and we often highlight the feral cat work being done in Western Australia. In our Year 3 report on the Threatened Species Strategy, we estimated that feral cat baiting via the Western Shield program in the Dryandra woodlands has increased the number of woylies from 342 individuals in February 2014 to more than 6,500 by April 2018. This local success in tackling the threat of feral predators means we can start bringing more numbats back into the wild. And Perth Zoo are now translocating numbats back into the wild that were bred as part of their native species breeding program, and I believe you'll hear more about this later tonight. There are certainly many challenges ahead of us. With such low numbers, the future of the numbat require really careful ongoing management. But there's really important action underway for the Numbat, and we're seeing some really promising results. We really recently highlighted some of this success and action underway in the Australian Government's Threatened Species Strategy Year 3 report. As Threatened Species Commissioner, a great deal of my work involves policy implementation in Canberra, as well as public engagement, including efforts to raise the profile of threatened species issues in Australia, to stimulate public discourse and to encourage people to get involved in conservation initiatives. I'm really proud of our work in this area, but I know from my own experience that no roundtable or TV interview or report I can produce will compare to the passion and the dedication of groups working on the ground, carrying out really important work like feral cat and fox control to recover our threatened species. So thank you all once again for the incredible amount you've given to protect the Numbat, and I hope you all have a fantastic and informative evening.